Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
Friday.
What's up, Wes? Happy Friday,
I'm
buddy.
tired, man. I'm loving it. I'm happy in life. Things are going really well. Straight into the chat, straight into the nines, high nines for this week. Even though it's tough, high
Your
nines,
week from
man.
1 to 10 is high 9, yeah?
Yeah, high nines, man.
Well,
Yeah.
by looking at your face, I would have said 1, to be
I mean,
honest, but
yeah,
appearances
I feel like I've been
are
run
not good.
over by a steam truck, but yeah, we're good. We had
Bravo,
a
yeah.
good week. What about yourself?
Yeah, yes. I think also 8, 9, yeah,
Yeah,
was
you're up
really,
there.
really
Well,
good,
you've
really
seen
good.
quite a lot of me this
Is
week, so that helps, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah, seeing you just skyrockets the scoring of my week up to the roof. I saw you yesterday at the brand building
yeah,
summit
man, that was
from Jacob.
crazy. It's crazy, like 200 odd people, 230 people or whatever, doing a live workshop to 230 people. I'm sure people are going to watch it on playback. Interesting scenario as a facilitator. Like, I designed this workshop as I normally do with question, answer slots, engagement opportunities. Turned up not realizing that I'm literally presenting to myself for 2 hours and I got a chat to engage with. But luckily, like, Jacob set up it really well. Jacob Cass, if anyone knows him, Brand Builders
Yeah,
Summit. A lovely guy called Darren was my moderator, and we kind of chipped through this. I think he realized, but great success, man. I think I had a few keyboard warrior haters after on my LinkedIn, but I think the other
really.
200 people felt good about it, so we did good.
Yeah, Rob Harrison seems to have enjoyed it as well. Hey, Rob, how
Yeah,
are you doing? Thanks for coming.
they're great. Like,
Everyone in the chat, tell us where you're joining from. Tell us if it's your
yeah.
first time on the cooler, and tell us from 1 to 10 how was your week.
Come on, give
Uh,
me some high nines. Mark, Ash is at the bar. Clearly, that's why he's not in this call.
where's
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Ash is at the bar. He got arrested. We don't know. We have no
Can't
contacts with
find his
him
way
for a
back.
couple of hours, but hopefully, we're waiting for the next 24 hours. If he comes back to life, then we're good. Otherwise, we're gonna have to find a third host.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start receiving applications really soon. Wes, what the heck is the brand?
Only if your name begins with A though, because we can't put
Yeah, we
one.
have to keep the one. Yeah, or you can go to the offices and just change the name. How you call it?
What were you just going to ask me? I'm sure it was a really important question, wasn't it?
Yeah, the really important question is what the heck is the brand water coolers?
The water cooler, Martin. That's an
Yeah,
interesting.
maybe someone never came before, so let's
So
explain.
those that don't know, it's a bunch of guys talking shit. No, real. It's a place
Also
where we
that
can turn up on a
that is the
Friday.
foundation.
Yeah, it's a place where we can turn up on a Friday live in real time. The theory comes from meeting around a water cooler in America. We waste time at the end of the day. 9 times out of 10, you meet somebody new from a different department that you don't know. You chat shit and you learn something new. Our
Yeah,
little
yeah.
twist is that we introduce a guest, but we don't announce it before. We announce it during. So today's guest, those guys that's probably already seen it on LinkedIn, but he's a G, right? I love this guy.
Mhm.
Even just the
Yeah,
pre-call coming in, boom,
I like it.
the attitude, the swagger, even the glasses, woo! Like this
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
is
I like it.
top
I think he's one of those rare mixers between creative and logical mind, between performance and
Yes.
branding, between data and emotion. I think it's really really rare to
Yeah.
find someone that is able to hold an argument of the both end of the spectrum. Because sometimes we talk performance versus brand, marketing versus brand, and hold that bullshit. But in reality, they come
Mm.
together. And finding one single person that has the duality in his brain, I
Yeah.
think it's golden. And
Mm.
and and yeah, the guests are always secret. We had Martin Umeyer, David Acker, we had Christo, we
Martin
had
Newmere, Simon
some
Dixon.
some Simon Dixon. We had some
Yeah.
wicked names. We had Rory Sutherland as
I was
well.
just at a networking event now, and I sat there reeling off the guests to this guy on
Yeah,
my keyboard, and he was
and
like,
I wish I could tell you more about the lineup that we have, guys. But like, you don't want to fucking miss one episode
January,
because we have
mate.
some names. I'm salivating, and every single person that comes bring his own fresh perspective.
Mhm.
It's no bullshit. There is no script. They come and say that their piece. We try to get together, and happens live every other Friday here on LinkedIn and streamed on YouTube as well. And we have a chat, so please
Yeah,
be
engage in this
generous
chat.
with your
Just
question.
like
Yeah,
you
be
guys did with
generous.
me last night, engage in this chat because you guys can
Yeah,
connect. I mean, the reason why we wanted to do this in the first place, yes, learning something new, yes, bringing people that you want to hear from into real life so you can hear them speak and learn. But
yeah,
9 out of 10, we want you to connect on that chat,
yeah.
link,
And
get to know
it's
each other.
learn something, right? Ask a question, and if you wanna tell Wes to shut up, tell to Wes to
Yeah,
shut up.
you can do that in the chat.
He
Like,
deserves it.
I'm fine with that. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Come on, Martin.
Let's
Your
go.
time.
Let's go.
This is
Let's
your
go.
time.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Right. So every brand, every company now wants to be a brand, right? It's a
Yeah.
super, super hot topic, but very few, and we know, and especially for the one in the trenches, are actually doing it right, are building a brand that helps the business grow. So the guest that we have today does exactly that. He worked on the brand side, he worked on the agency side, he worked in the trenches of high performance marketing. So it's a really interesting mix up. You guys can really fire up the question. He builds team, run go to market strategies. He turned brand into into something that means for investor, founders, and product team, and something that people can really rally behind. I love this guy because he's a no bullshitter. He's straight to the core of the topic, and I really like to interact with him on LinkedIn as well. And you guys will see why. He's one of the very few people, as I told you before, that has this incredible ability to blend data, marketing, performance, and emotion, which is super super rare, as mentioned before. He was the ex-head of marketing at CXL. Now he's way to lead content marketing at fintech unicorn Backbase, while he's doing some brand consulting on the side as well, and also a father, if I learned in
Just.
the chat now. So busy, busy, busy man. Now, without further ado, please help me welcome Stefan Maritz on the show. Let me turn on the camera. Stefan,
Welcome to the cooler, man.
boop, boop,
Hey,
boop,
look at that swagger. Look at those glasses, bro.
What a
I'm here.
intro. You
I'm
want to
in
go
on
on a
it.
date, Martin? We could
yeah, I mean, with that look straight out of Vice City, maybe. Yeah, take me to
Look at
Miami, baby.
the swagger. I love it.
it's better than Dharma. I hear that quite a bit as well. It's like my serial killer glasses, but hey, stands on. Wear them. Thank you guys. That was cool.
Yeah,
I'm flattered. Now the bar set pretty high. I have to like
yeah,
earn up
man.
to it now.
Yeah,
It's okay. We
you
have
we
Wes in
got
the call as well,
expectations.
so
Yeah, I mean, I'll
thanks
lower
for
that
that
bar
work of
straight
yours.
away. Don't worry.
Stefan, let's go straight into the core. You have a terrific experience also from the coaching side and seeing lots of really good content at CXL as well. I think you must be super lucky that you saw so many great people in there, and we were able to talk about this topic. Why do you think branding is having a
A moment.
backfire moment right now?
Yeah,
I think it's the big thing I think is happening is the performance flex, the growth flex, or it's growth hacking at its moment. A lot of money was thrown at very profitable business models. Growth at all costs was the name of the game for the past few years. Prove what works, prove it fast, and scale it fast. And I think this made the fluffy branding topic kind of disappeared to the back. And I mean, it's not that a lot of people knew how to build brands for the past few years. It's just it kind of took the backseat because if you can't prove it, don't do it. Let's not talk about brand awareness. That's a campaign you run on Facebook. We don't want impressions. We want something else. We want growth. Where's the leads? Where's the SQLs? Is this converting? Is it driving business growth? And if the answer in the short term is no, frankly, let's put the naughty kid in the back. And I think that's where it was. And now what's happening is we're seeing shifts in big SEO, like the AI movement. People are going to LLMs. Your SEO plays don't work that well anymore. The noise is getting incredibly loud out there. There's more ads than ever before. There's more content than ever before. Standing out is harder than ever. And all of a sudden, people are starting to realize like we're just fading into this sea of sameness, to quote ChatGPT.
yeah,
That's this like oblivion of content that's being flooded on the internet right now. And at the same time, consent things are on the move. Getting data is harder. It's harder and harder to prove. Your funnel attribution is becoming a shit show. So I think there's this weird thing, and I feel good when I see it because this flex is disappearing, and I think people have run out of like their basically the excuses they make for why they contract things. And now we're just like all of a sudden, oh, we need to build demand. There's this 95 to 5% rule that is doing the rounds all of a sudden. It's always been there. But all of a sudden, like these topics are being surfaced more. There's a lot of more influential people talking about it. And obviously all the big people are now jumping on this and saying like, hey, maybe we do need a brand because the LLM is not going to mention you if you're not a big brand. So branding is coming to light. But what I think is not coming to light is the actual branding, like the real strategy that sits behind it. People are now just like, hey, you need to be top of mind. But what does that mean? And how do you get top of mind is still somewhere in this weird space where no one really knows what to say about it. So I think that's just what's happening in the market. There's just so many shifts and people just can't measure everything. So the fallback is hey, back to brand.
And you know,
Yeah, it's
like,
interesting.
and you know how you're starting to now reference now. There's this upsurge of like realization that they have to stand out and they have to kind of step outside of this noise or see a sameness that we're referencing. If we're trying to get that message across, and we've asked this to so many different strategists, including ourselves, and I still think it's a challenge for us all. But like, how do you explain, the value or really what brand is to that CRO, to that CFO, like the finance guy, the finance director in my life is always my nemesis. Like, I find if I win him over, I'm won. You know what I mean? Like, but how do you get that message across? How do you start?
Yeah, I think it's for me. It's really always it comes from what do they want to hear, right? It remains business growth at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're never going to get past the conversation of where's the revenue out of this, where's the growth, where's the return on investment, and I think that always needs to be at the core of it because no one's building a brand to not build a successful brand. Like, I mean, that's still the outcome. Like, if you look at what is a good brand strategy is really understanding your audience and delivering something they really want. And if you do that successful, there will be good growth. So if that's your starting point, what does that look like in modern like business terms? And I think for especially the B2B realm, where this is more kind of fluffy than your e-commerce company, for instance, because e-commerce they know brand is the way to market. So your typical CRO or CFO in a B2B setup or a SaaS company, that's where like where's the leads? That's where those conversations get very hard. And what I like doing is playing the game of this is very simple graph I have that it's two axes. It's brand fame and it's cost of acquisition. As brand fame rises, cost of acquisition comes down. That's always the thing. And then you can start referencing the 95-5 rule that everyone is now very much aware of, and the top of mind, the consideration set. Why do people come to us in the first place? Who are they comparing us with? But in reality, there needs to be short-term and long-term balance. Like, the long-term balance is this graph. Like, the more famous we can get in our niche, and I hate saying that line, or industry, and it doesn't mean you have to be world famous for everyone like Coca-Cola. The more famous we can get, the less money we have to spend over the next 5 to 10 years on telling people we exist, educating people on why they need to buy us, why they need to pick us instead of our competitors, and basically less money on getting them through the pipeline. So what are the results? The result is more pipeline. The result is more sticky deals because people don't necessarily just drop out. They are, if you're the default, they are comparing your competitors to you, and ultimately, higher, like lower cost of acquisition. And then you at least have the attention. If it gets really sticky, ask him why he bought his car, and then let him educate himself on like why brand is important, because the Mercedes you're driving or that Porsche is, well, you just explained to me what a brand is, but I just always like to take it from that. We're still focusing on the short-term wins, but don't forget the 10-year plan here. And everything we do, all marketing is brand marketing. Like, every performance ad we put out there, every word we write on the website, every landing page, every piece of campaign that gets put out there is building towards this 10-year plan. And the ultimate objective is to get that cost of acquisition as low as possible.
And also churn is improved as well, right? So if you build it the proper way, that the experience is consistent throughout the journey and the lifetime value of that customer, then it's also improved the stickiness and how well that customer is willing to stay for a longer time, right?
I do have a strong reservation about that because oftentimes, remember, so a brand, the strongest pillar of a brand is the experience. You can build perceptions with content. You can lie your way to a sale. You can build a very strong brand, have great sales, but if the product fails, the brand will
Once you're in,
it will bring the brand down, and people will, especially in the B2B realm where there's business like outcomes associated to the product that you're buying. It's like buying a cheap piece of shit from China. You're not going to buy it again. Like, if you catch a great brand out that they bought something off Temu and sold it to you and it breaks in 10 days, you're not buying that brand. So yes, generally, because you're just like stronger in the market, and there will be people that fight for you and advocate for you. But ultimately, if the product is good and the brand is strong, yes, your retention will be much higher, and your churn will be low.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that goes back to your very first point, right? Like how everything is brand marketing, including the choices that you make in your user experience for the design as well. Because like if we say we are the XYZ, as the positioning. And as you mentioned, you are able to activate the positioning into the right minds. But then you go into the product, and the product is not XYZ. Then fuck you. Like bye bye, bye bye, and I'm actually empowered to tell everyone in my network that you lied to me, right? So, and that's why I think that's where the difficulty and the misunderstanding of the brand of the power of real brand comes into play, because everything needs to realign into that promise, right? Into that core, into that direction. One tiny little thing, and markets are too complex now. One tiny little thing, I'll go somewhere else.
Oh, it's not only that, like eyebrows are raised, right? You're like, oh, I didn't expect this from this brand, and then all of a sudden, one person sees it, the next there's 10,000 people see it, and it becomes a bigger issue. Do you know, like it's like we have these expectations in our mind, like you said, perceptions or experiences, and as soon as that changes slightly, it's a whole other situation.
Yeah, so there's like this hierarchy that I always, it's not an official model. It's just when I explain to someone that really doesn't understand how to build a brand, this is like my approach. So number one is awareness, right? So if someone doesn't know about you, they will not buy. You will not be in the consideration set. They're not buying it. This can happen in many ways. It could be if you're hungry and you're walking down the street and you realize, oh, tummy's rumbling, I want something to eat. You look around and there's only one restaurant. That is the moment awareness happens. Like, cool, there is a restaurant serving something. There's a menu outside that says they sell pizza. There's a sign that says it's an Italian restaurant. So now you get over to content. It's your landing pages, your ads, everything you push out into the world. In the digital realm, this is most of where the brand building happens, because it's what we consume. It's what you tell someone. It's how they build the relationship with you. They haven't spoken to an employee yet. They haven't bought your product. They haven't tasted the food yet. So there's no experience yet. Yeah. So most of it happens in the perception building. But the moment you buy the product, or the moment you engage with that waitress, brings you the food, if the food is great, it seals the deal. Like, cool, I saw you had good reviews online. Like the picture comes together. And if the food is crap, and the waitress or the waiter is super like nasty with you and just like not a fun time, that experience gets brought down, but it carries so much weight. And especially when you do like B2B products or e-commerce, that ultimately is what defines that review, really. And that's what it's about. And it's often like a brand is not what we said, it is what they say it is, right? So that experience is just so important to do. And people forget that, like, brand is not your marketing. It's not what you put out into the world. It is the entire company. It is the entire like experience that gets pushed across the line.
Yeah. Hey man, I think we live and breathe that, and I think me, Wes, and Ash, we do a lot of work trying to have that system in place internally, that mindset in place internally. And I know, Stefan, you also talk a lot about brand as a system. What do you mean by that?
So your brand is, when you go back to branding, the act of building a brand. So when you just like when we just remove like the essence of it from it. So what is the system? It's basically the deliberate design of a perception in the market. What are all these elements that you require to build the thing that you are desiring to put out? And yes, you need the data, you need to understand your audience, you need to know what they want, you need to understand the culture, and this goes on different levels for obviously different industries, but you really plan that process right from the start. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? How are we showing up in the world? Every single word you craft needs to be part of that system, and your brand becomes the system. It's the foundation that a house gets built on. Like at the foundation of a house, it's the foundation that a business gets built on. And oftentimes what happens is this system gets added too late to the party, if it does at all. And I don't think it's not the end of the world. Like if you ask me, like, what do I want founders to know? Just start with this. Like, don't build your house and then try to figure out the foundation. Just ask the right questions. And it doesn't have to be a full-fledged brand strategy. Just understand what you want to put out into the world, who you want to do it for, and how you want to show up. And that is the system. And I don't think there's methodologies and there's playbooks and everything, but at the end of the day, that is what it is. It's just a plan for your house. It's what you hand over to the architect to build the house or to make it come to life. And it should live at the intersection of like all your content, how your salespeople show up, what your CS team does when they deal with customers, how your product team plans the features. Like, does it fit the vision? Does it fit the needs that we're trying to solve? Or is it simply playing to like some big player in the market? Or are we just following what the competitors are doing, for instance, or whatnot? So that is the brand as a system. It needs to be the actual mechanism that drives the entire business, all decisions, and everything that goes on.
I love what you say, the deliberate design of a specific perception. I think that's powerful, bringing everything together. But then, why do you think so many B2B brands are still struggling with that? No, I think B2B is starting to wake up on that concept, and you touched upon before for a number of reasons. But I mean, it's still pretty sad that they're out there. And I mean, if we had to look at it from the lenses of brand builders, right? So I mean, we are quick to notice things, and there is still a lot of copy and paste. There is still a lot of like, let's replicate category leaders, and going in a situation of hiding versus branding. What's going on then? What
So
do you think is their mindset?
from my observation, and I think this is just a personal observation. When you launch an e-commerce brand, for instance, you need to, like, there's so many different options. You go on Amazon, there's like almost millions of things you can buy. In a category, there could be thousands, obviously, the same thing. The only way you stand out is through brand. So a lot of times when someone starts a company on e-commerce side or like B2C, it often starts with the brand. Like, I want to create these shoes that are just cool. Like, it starts from a cultural perspective. Like, or, hey, there's like these headphones that, uh, it's good for rock and roll music. You start actually
Yeah,
with the problem, and then you figure out, how do I fine tune the wavelengths to actually be good on the frequency, to be good for rock and roll, or like, how is it good for? So oftentimes in B2C, there is if it's intentional or not, it does start with more cultural like relevance. In B2B, it often starts very, very practical. I'm building a product to solve this business problem. And oftentimes your founding team, and I had this conversation yesterday at a roundtable at the conference in Amsterdam as well, where the friction comes from is oftentimes your founding teams are commercial and technical. You get one guy or like someone to build the product, because
Yeah.
we're selling tech, so you need someone that can do that. So you've got your kind of like CTO blue personality in there. They don't give a shit. They just like, I'm going to build you something solid. And I've worked with these guys, and that's cool and it's great, but only if they hand over the brand to you in the marketing. But the problem is, oftentimes your founders are not marketing minded. They're not brand minded. They are commercial salespeople. They kick down doors. They come in super red. They just care about one thing: get those sales, get them quickly, because we need money. We need money from our customers, and we need money from investors. And they don't care about brand. They don't think we need a basic website. How do you get a website? I can buy that blue and white theme from Webflow. Fuck yeah, it's a brand. There we go. It's great. Uh, and then all of a sudden, like, that's the brand. They decide on some random name that's also usually functional, like it says what the product does, which is fine. I mean, it's good if you have that association. But this is the like the pattern that I do see. It's very rare where your B2B brand starts from a cultural, meaningful like point, instead of like a practical point. And then building a brand becomes hard. And then at some point they're like, hey, we need a leadership team, we need values, we need to like, there's a pool table in the lunchroom, that's our brand. And like, it becomes this thing. And I think some brands are better at adding it in later than others, and they do it like early enough, and others just completely screw it up.
Interesting.
yeah, it's a thin balance, because as you said before, doing it early, it aligns early, and it's like, do you want to be on a train that is on rails, or do you want to be on a train that where the rails are getting built along the way? Both, maybe both might work, but like one, I think, is probably easier, right? Doing it at the beginning. And then what do they like? What happens then at some point in this journey, that do they hire a CMO that slaps them in the face and say, "Hey guys, you gotta wake up," or like, do they smell something that said, "Oh shit, maybe we do actually need to put proper work on the brand," based on your experience?
Yeah, based on just, I can just so for the past while of my career, I've been focused on the 1 to 10. So founders take it from 0 to 1, and then at some point they realize, oh, we need marketing department, whether that comes from the investors or it's just himself coming to the realization that we need growth, and like, effectively we can't just like message people on LinkedIn anymore. um that's usually the thought of like marketing. It's I've never encountered the situation where they actually start with like, we need a brand. And if I looked like 2-3 years ago, these positions that were posted, and when you look for these people, it's very growth like focused. Like, hey, you need to come in and like fix the leads and the funnels and this. It's everything that's going to get us business growth. And that's like, hey, build the marketing machine, do the SEO, very technical, very performance driven. And then you like start asking the questions, like, is our positioning nailed down? Like, what's the brand strategy? Like, is there a brand strategy? And you oftentimes realize there's nothing. There was never any thought into like this process. And then usually it's like a CMO that doesn't come from the growth background necessarily, or head of marketing like myself. I'm brand first, content second. Like, there's no two questions about it. Don't ask me to build I'm not going to switch on ads and send it to a website that just says the same thing as the next competitor. Like, you're just wasting money. So back to the graph. Hey guys, let's start here. Build the brand, build the foundation, and then we can figure out what our tone of voice is. What's our point of view? We speak to customers. We understand why they buy us in the first place. Like, how do we shape this into then that system? Oftentimes people do buy into this because they get it. Sometimes they kind of buy into it, but they really don't. They just still ask for leads, and then that's where you start bashing heads. And I personally just can't work in environments like that, because ultimately it fails, and it fails for reasons that, I mean, we can talk about forever, but that's the experience. So it is a bit of a slap in the face, I guess, but it also has to be the right personality. And I have to be frank and say this, that I think there's a lot of CMOs out there that just also don't know what the difference between branding and marketing is.
We say this all the time, and the coincidence is that they're in such an elite position that if they actually turned around and said they didn't, it'd look bad on them. So they just play along with it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I would fight you to death on that hill. Like, it's they just don't know, and that's also where oftentimes branding becomes this thing that's really left until late. It's like, oh, we need a brand manager. No, you don't. It's like you are the brand manager.
Exactly.
Like, if you're not the brand manager as the CMO, like, something is wrong at this company fundamentally. So there's that big disconnect I see, and it's back to like my earlier point of like, why brand now? There's been so much focus on performance marketing and growth marketing for so long that this is just the setup that was put in. But now if you look at these job descriptions, all of a sudden CMOs need to be able to build brands, and like, oh, we want this brand strategy. And it, like, there is a wake-up call in this industry. Like, brands are waking up. You're seeing more chief brand officer roles opening up, which is great, because I think you need a chief brand officer before you need a CMO. Actually, like, marketing can exist.
It's got to feed the marketing, right? You know, put the brand into place. Like, you know, tell them where to market, who to market to, what to market about.
Ideally, founders need to be the chief brand officer. Always.
I agree.
I agree. Like me and Wes, we always say that one of the problems is that brand school doesn't do enough business coaching, and business school doesn't do enough brand coaching, right? So this career path are kind of like going into the other direction, when in reality they should be best friends, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
they should be arm in arm, man. Like,
100%. I mean, I can once again just that was just all that, and I had a good laugh. I mean, I studied, and I come from Cape Town, where like very traditional like university system, or South Africa. I saw some South Africans in the chat here, like even some people I studied with. Funny enough,
I see they're giving you shout out early on.
I saw you in there. It's good to have you. Anyway, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a very traditional system. Like, you go to uni, you study like a shitload of theory out of a book, a lot of models, and then they shove you into like some internship, and you need to like figure out how this works. Doing that with marketing is already hard. But no one in my entire 4-year degree of marketing told me anything about branding. It was promotion, it was project management, it was digital marketing, it was this, it was that, but no one touched on branding or psychology. I fell in love with psychology, and then happily in Cape Town, we've got this school called Vega, which is super cool. They just do branding. It is brand strategy from top to bottom, whether you're studying photography or design or like strategy or whatever the case, it's all from a brand lens. And I fell in love with the psychology, saw this, and then I did my postgraduate like a master's degree in strategic brand communication, which was where this world opened up to me. And this was by people that are brand minded. It's still marketing, but they teach you marketing from a brand angle, communication from a brand angle, how to do content from a brand angle, how to build a brand from the ground up. And I still use those methodologies to this day. When I get a customer, I start with, hey, I'm going to get first workshop. You don't say a single thing. I'm going to do an actual lecture on what is a brand.
Yeah, we do the same thing, mate. We the first thing we do is level everything out. Like, we're going to speak the same language from now on, right? Then we.
Because if I say vision, you need to know what I'm talking about, and you need to know the importance of a vision. When I say value proposition, you need to know what I'm talking about. When I talk
Exactly.
about brand attributes and like what your associations are that you want to build, I need to know that you know what I'm talking about. And then you start building that system from the ground up, and you use that blueprint as everything else from there.
All day long.
The moment that light goes on in the founder's mind,
Yeah,
magical. I literally get like goosebumps saying it. It's like,
Yeah, we live for that. Is that light bulb in the mind of the founder, but also we like to see the CTO and the CFO sit like this with like, what the fuck am I doing in this room on day one, and then on day three they're just smashing it. They're so on it, and seeing a CFO becoming the number one brand ambassador,
he's a converter, like
priceless. I'll
And-
send you back the money. I'll send you back the invoice, because like I just live for that.
And when we go to a workshop, we always bet which one it's going to be. There was like having a side bet. Yeah,
it's usually either the finance or the
agreed.
or the sales guys.
Yeah,
Well,
I think there's some
money
devs.
sales.
Like, I think we've had devs in the past, haven't we? Like,
But they just don't care.
Analog minded, like binary. But we had a similar situation to you talking about the car. So we had this one guy who was so resistant for we had like a 3-day workshop, 2-day workshop, I can't remember. But it wasn't over a period of time, and he came in every day with a Ralph Lauren polo, right? And he was so adamant he didn't buy in brand. He challenged us on everything. He pushed back on like you said, theory we've delivered. For workshop, I've never had a challenge, and if we have, we've introduced a slide to cover that challenge, right? So we've already prepared for it. And then he was, and at the point, I think we got him on day 2 or 3 with it, Mike, and was like, so tell me why you wore a Ralph Lauren polo every day. Tell me, you don't believe in brand, but you've wore that. You've consciously picked that. You know what I mean? And he just went, great guy. Yeah. He ended up being like he was the pivot. He was the guy that turned everything around in the end. But yeah, man.
No one spends $2,000 on a Gucci handbag for functional benefits.
Not at all.
We're not rational human beings. Like humans are not rational. We're irrational, and we want to stand out, and that's where emotional things come in.
Of course.
I mean, we're still buying fucking iPhones, right? It's the same fucking iPhone. It's still the same phone for the past 10 years, but like, 1,500 better battery. Let's go! Woohoo!
We need to take the selfie in the mirror.
Yeah, I'm so tired of these Apple phones, honestly. Like, but I buy one every year, and I'm just hoping that something will happen eventually, but nothing is happening.
So I wanted to dig in a bit more of you on Steph, because I genuinely am not just blowing smoke up your ass. I think you articulate really well, like brand, and you articulate and you challenge. And I think one of the beautiful things I've seen happen or witnessed between you and Martin was your little challenges on LinkedIn, right? And it's beautiful to see, because you're both respected. I sit as a neutral. I don't like keyboard warriors. I think I said that earlier in the show, and I avoid them. Like, I don't even want to get into that challenge. If I believe in you and I respect you, I'll have a debate. But when you're going to sit there and put me down, I mean, I ain't got time. I'm 46-year-old. I ain't got time for this shit. You know what I mean? But what I wanted to dig in is like, where did this journey start for you? Then you started touching on it a bit. You started talking about your degree, but where did your like understanding and articulation and real great like communication of brand come from? Because you have got a skill, and I'm not just saying that.
Thank you. Do you want to go on a date?
I was taking away from Martin.
Wait. Let's see that works first.
Let's like I said, like while I was studying. So going back a bit more, I wanted to be a lawyer my entire life. Believe it or not, I was like dead set on being a lawyer ever since I was a child. And then I studied law, and I completely failed everything. Yeah, and then I went to a career coach, anything like a psychologist back then. I was like 19 years old, and they're like, you should be in marketing.
Yeah,
they did this test, and I'm like, well, I've got I don't know. I'm broken. Yeah, like I just want to be at uni. I just want to drink beers, make friends. See girls, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, marketing. I was like, this is actually cool, but like really the psychological side, and it's like somewhere something snapped. Like, why do we buy things? Like,
subconsciously.
This like. It bothers me. Like, why are people so obsessed with like these things? Like, we spend money we don't have on shit we don't need all the time, and it like the theory on the marketing side killed me. And that's when Vega really like opened this for me. Like, I went looking for like, where can I do this a degree, and like I want to learn more about branding.
Yeah.
And that did it. And like I think I also just come from my mom's a teacher, so I've got this like in me, and I really like helping people. I like help my friends who start businesses, and like, hey, do this right. And I realized through the years that the brands who start with brand do better. And that could be like at the beginning, or if they really get to that point of like, hey, we need to rebrand, and then you do it right. And like the moment you go through these, you jump through these hoops, it really works. Like you find your crowd quicker. You have more meaning behind your like your internal conversations. You've got more like substance behind the product decisions that you make. Like should we launch that line, yes or no? Like this whole I love Google's like vision and mission around like taking the world's information and making it like universally accessible, because that's what it is. Like if you look at any Google product, does it fit their vision and their mission? Yes, it does. It really does. And I've never been in a product conversation at Google, but I'm quite sure that comes up. Like, is this like, does this fit the vision and the mission? Yes, it does. So I've just witnessed this over the years, and the more I do it, the more in love with it I get. It's like this. I refuse to believe that you can build a successful business without a brand at some point. And yes, sometimes like people do get lucky. There is that magical moment where they build something that the market really wants so badly, and then they buy into it, and then they get the right people to shape that brand along the way. So it does happen. But ideally, you just set up for better success if you do this right from the start, like building a house. So it's just this passion that kind of grew over the years, and then along with this passion of teaching, I like telling people about this, and then I'm just super stubborn in my ways. Like I will die on many hills, and that's one of them. Like if you're gonna tell me something on LinkedIn, you better be up for like that conflict, because I'm not gonna back down. I refuse to back down. Especially if I know I'm right. Like I've got no intention. Like I just can't. So yeah, put all of those together, and you've got me today, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So carrying that on then. So how much did CXL like influence you on this? Did it give you a pedestal? Did it elevate it, leverage it, or?
Yes and no. I mean, it's a very influential brand. Definitely, I think what's special about CXL is the fact that I was the face of the brand now for like the past while. Definitely, there is growth in more than one direction because of that, and I'm like super cool. But what was cooler for me is more the network that I got to step into, because I mean the business model is built on find people that are really just great at what they do and have them teach that to the world, and that is what I stand behind as well. It's not people with too much time and some random agency that never makes money and they've got so much time they need to push a course onto Udemy every 2 months just to make extra buck. That's not the people we deal with. We go with people that are like publicly sitting with great use cases, playbooks, piece of that puzzle. We go to them and we say, hey, teach this to our people, share this playbook, share this win you had. We know it's not the ultimatum, it's not definitive, it's just a little piece of that B2B marketing puzzle, because no one can tell you what works and what doesn't work, and what works in one industry doesn't work in another. So that environment where I got to deal with these people on a day-to-day basis and have these conversations, I think it elevated me personally more than anything else. It's just the level of thinking, and also in the different verticals. Like I would say I leveled up in everything from SEO to like PPC to CRO to branding, just like on all levels, just rose up. So super cool.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think one of the reasons why I love CXM so much is because of that. Like I always had problems with academia taught by people that read a book 20 years ago. But like if you're able to work with people that are practicing now, that's what is needed.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I say, I think we're getting feedback.
I
Yeah,
think
we
it's Martin this time. It's normally me. I think it's Martin. Not gonna
There we
lie.
go.
no,
I
it's
think
you.
it's gone. Yeah, it's that's really what it is, right? I mean, marketing is just stepping away from brand a little bit. Marketing in itself, growth is a series of experiments where some fail, some get lucky, and some do well. And throw in a market that is unpredictable. We don't know when things launch. We don't know who gets elected for president. We don't know what happens around us, where that shapes demand and do certain things. I was just in a presentation of Louis Grenier yesterday. Brilliant, and it was basically all around this. Marketing is messy. Stop trying to control everything because you can't. But at the same time, no one sits with all the answers. It's just everyone has a little piece of the puzzle. Some things work, some things doesn't. The more you grab of what works, you're building this massive puzzle. It's the same reason why I like working across all industries and everything at the same time, because I believe in cross pollination. I learned something from an e-commerce brand in laundry detergents that I can apply in a SaaS company that's selling, I don't know, email automation tool, for instance. It's these weird little things you pick up everywhere, but no one has the answer. And that's what I love about this concept of just ask people is doing something to share their wins, and that win you might be able to apply somewhere, might not, but at least you heard the story and then you got it in the back of your mind.
Definitely. And I think that just to add to that, I'm kind of in that bracket. If you took my academic kind of level, I'm dyslexic. I didn't finish university, and now I'm being given a voice in a classroom by certain people in the world. Shillington Education for one, maybe not Trent the other, where they're throwing industry special who's been through that ring with those real insights that can teach the next generation. Do you know what I mean? And like, if you'd have told my mum and dad, 25 years ago, I'd be teaching, they'd have laughed at you. And they're like, you know what I mean? You didn't survive school, let alone go and teach someone.
Yeah. But it's based on that insight.
Go on, sorry, buddy.
No, sorry, I just said it's based on the insights that he gathered. So
Yeah, and mate, like you made me think about something. Okay, learning, teaching, processes, cross pollination between industry and everything. You mentioned also we don't really know where it's going. It's changing so quickly. So my question for you is, what role has intuition then, right? So we know that the consumer has an emotional a purchase behavior. Well, what about from the brand building point of view? Does intuition play a role, or in any aspect based on your thinking and your processes?
The politically correct question in the marketing industry is no. I think it's dangerous, but I've never. I love to trust my gut. Oftentimes, when I do my research and I get to know an industry, if you ask me if I can work on any brand, I'll say yes. And I always say the same thing. I just need to do my research. Let me dig. Let me see what's there, what's going on. And the moment you start putting these pieces together and you get a feel for the industry and the players and everything, you can start making calls based on gut feeling. I wouldn't make like actual investments based on gut feeling, but you can shift things around a little bit based on that. And I think the longer you're in an industry, the better that gets. I think cross-pollination also helps. It does help not being that tied up in an industry. So there's different levels of where that comes
I
in.
agree.
But what I like doing is I'm dead set on data as well. I was raised by a chemical engineer and a maths teacher. And they kind of like taught me that if it doesn't work in the formula, it doesn't work like this. So I was kind of like I like to believe my left brain and right brain is completely balanced. Like I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I love writing, I love creating, but if the data doesn't prove it, don't talk to me. Like let's ground in the data. So oftentimes when I work with clients, I'll start getting a feel for the market, and then I see them leaning to like one point, and you always have to lean into a founder that has a strong vision. Like you need to give them that, and you can't just break them, because then you also fail at like the exercise. But oftentimes I'm like, I do start seeing it's going to A instead of B or C, and they might still be like hammering C, and then I'll go and say, cool, let's test this. Let's test this via like we can do a simple $100 Facebook campaign with just the words that we're trying to put out here, or the logo or something. Let's test the color palette in like for 48 hours. Let's just look at like how many people click on the shit. And then you start putting this data together. And I'm like, I'm not sentimental about A. I just think A is probably the best. And I'm like, I'm not in your target audience. It might be targeting, women age 40 to 50, put something. I don't care. I'm not in the target audience. But my intuition tells me if this data comes back, it's going to be A, just by like what I've observed. And they're still like, no, it's probably going to be C. I know my customers. What do you know? It's A. And sometimes I'm proven wrong. It's B or it's C, but more often than not, it leans to like the intuition. But I won't make the investment or the call without putting it to the test. I'm just like, it's just a little like pat on the back I give myself for like, yes, okay, you did a good job at actually analyzing the audience and the industry to come up with like where that gap is and what they want.
Yeah, I love that because as creatives, sometimes we also get too stuck into the things that we created, like confirmation bias. It's a killer. You might even have the best research and the data of the world, but then you get so stuck in one direction that you start reading the data in a way that gives you the wrong insight just to confirm what you wanted to have.
Mhm.
And I love what you said. It's important to be in the trenches, because then you can start smelling that thing. And it's important remembering that is not the strategist that owns the brand, is not the CEO that owns the brand, but ultimately it's the consumer, isn't it? It's in their power.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's as easy as like if you've got a good following on your Instagram, run a few polls. Come on,
Mhm.
like, people love engaging. Stop telling them, just shoving content down their throat. Just ask them, and they will tell you, and then use that data to base your decisions on and your creative
Amen.
clients. And so,
Amen. Stefan, what's your view on purpose then? I think purpose had ups and downs in the last couple of years, and I think we've been in a big um, purpose force feeding
Just one.
couple of years as well, right? Where's your head at?
um, I think if we go back to like the foundations of brand, I think it's important. Why is purpose important? Because people buy into something. It's the foundation of culture, right? Like if we look at religion, it's based on purpose. Like
Yeah, it's a
what
narrative.
do you stand for? What are your values? What is the reason you do why you do? And I think purpose is, from the foundational perspective of a brand, one of the most important building blocks. If you leave everything else, have your purpose in place. Why are you doing what you're doing? And as you as a founder cannot answer that, and you only answer it with like a practical thing, and then we could
Yeah.
cycle back to the why is B2B branding so fucked up? That's the problem. There's never purpose. It's all transactional and
Functional. Yeah.
problem solving. But the purpose is, why are you doing what you're doing? And I think it is hard, just coming back to just to ground that thought, it is the foundation of why people follow a brand, why they buy at the end of the day. And then I think what's happening at the moment is, especially with B2B, that people try to force purpose. Like sometimes it just doesn't belong. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
they need to go clean the ocean. That's not a purpose. Like planting trees to your website isn't a purpose. Like you're not fooling anyone. It's nice. Like, I mean, if we go back to the psychology and like David Harker's models, there is emotional benefit. It's good to bring in an emotional benefit layer. And I mean, if we look at the data, if you add something like this e-commerce purchase will remove 1,000 bottles from the ocean, someone will probably buy that instead of something that doesn't.
Of course.
But that's not purpose. And I think we live in a time where it's just so easy to slap random shit onto the internet and call it purpose and go like, hey, we're planting trees, or we're donating money once a year to this charity because it's in our market or whatnot.
Purpose washing.
Yeah.
Misunderstood. So I like the idea. I stand behind it foundationally, but I think it's just done wrong. And
Yeah.
I don't have a solution at
I
all.
agree, and I get challenged. I'm purpose driven myself, and I preach it. And I'm not like a messiah, but I'm like, if purpose is guiding us and driving us, and it informs, and aligns our team, our people, our product, everything should be, that DNA thread should be aligned back, and it acts as a litmus test, right? And I think that's when we use it. And like you said, and it's great to hear again. I did a 2-hour workshop on this last night. We don't have to change the world. Like, we could just put a smile on someone's face every day. And if we do it and we do that well, we're doing it right. And that's cool with me. Like, I'm cool with that, and then we're purpose led, we're purpose driven, we're changing people's mental health initially, like in the end, because we're making someone smile. Great. So let's just put a smile on someone's face. Let's just start there. You know what I mean? And then that goes into our messaging, into our pillars, into our tone of voice.
You've got substance.
Yeah, you've got a reason to say, and then
It's a tool, right? It becomes a tool.
yeah, like I say, it's a litmus test, and then you've got a judgment tool, right? Then it's like, okay, if our purpose is to make someone smile every day, does that work? Yes. Okay, let's bring it to the table and let's see if it belongs in the business. If we need to align to somebody, if we need to acquire a business, if we need to launch a campaign, does it work or does it not? Not I like it. Does it work or does it not?
And does it fit the purpose?
Exactly. And then it's a go. And then we can bring it to the table.
Yeah, I firmly agree. I've got a personal, like, my personal brand vision is that I build and help grow brands that leave the world a better place. So I refuse to work on like a cigarette brand.
Yeah. I think we all have a lot
of everything else, if I could trace it back to like the end user and like, are you making a positive impact? I'm happy to help.
Yeah, wicked. So let's get a bit personal. You've got this facade, this quiet. I'm going to call you got this swag, okay? But what do you do outside of strategy? What's Stefan on a weekend?
Stefan on a weekend is.
I knew this was coming in.
I make a lot of music. The rest of this room is just.
Ba, 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 ba.
I play a lot of games. I'm a big nerd as well.
Okay.
I've got a son, a wife. Yeah, spend time with them, make good food, have a good time, make music,
Make memories, man.
play
So
games.
it should
That's
be.
yeah, and I do rock climbing as well. Where I
I
fly.
do. So what's your ballad?
Nice.
I always ask this question, but like, what song do you sing in the shower? What's your anthem?
I write my own songs, so I sing my
Okay.
own
So
songs
you sing
usually.
your own songs in the
Brain
shower.
my brain is like occupied with my own shit the whole time because I'm always writing the next bit.
Excusez-moi. Like this is this we have a different answer this time, yeah? Like
Yeah,
I
I've never had
know.
like I write my own shit. I don't sing anyone else's songs.
Yeah, no, it's
Love
like
that.
I've like that's why I said like I'm still an artist. Like I'm a
Yeah.
creative. So my entire
Love that.
life, like I wake up at night, like in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. when the cat wakes me up, and I'll go down to feed him, and it's like, oh, there's a new song, and I actually have to write it
The
down.
Wow.
brain is on.
The next few
You
days,
gotta put it
the song
down.
just like form in my mind until I actually like pick up the guitar and put it to
What
life.
Amazing.
and Stefan, what do you play? What do you game? What are you on now?
Anything new. I like trying games. I've got a big passion for the gaming industry, so I like supporting devs. But ideally, if I can sink my teeth into like PUBG, I'm happy. Like I'm very competitive, so anything online where I can be better than someone else, I'm happy with.
Yeah,
Love
man.
that.
My kids have got me into Fortnite now, and I'm like super competitive, and I'm like,
And you can't help it. You
yeah,
have to
I
want
need
more.
to fucking better this. Like, you know what I mean?
Me too. Like, and you can't let the kids beat you.
No,
Yeah.
never look. Like,
No.
how many kills you got, Dad? I'm like, what? Shut up. What are you talking about? Brilliant.
Yeah.
We always ask this as well. Like, have you got any questions for us? Like, I like to ask our guests. Like, do you got anything to ask?
How do
us?
you explain branding to people?
Quite a lot like you, to be fair. It's
We are so aligned,
it's a
Stefan.
long journey to a better bottom line by getting other people or other things to market for you. Simple, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, I say it's the perception you leave behind, and the branding is that designed perception that makes that.
Yeah. One is the perception, the other one is how you make that perception, right? Like I think you said it beautifully, like the
Yeah.
deliberate design of it. And like I explain the value it exactly as you do, you know, I don't do a chart, but like I just make an example that like the more you do, the more your perception grows and your market presence goes, everything else goes down, you know. So like honestly, we're not just saying it because of saying, but we're extremely aligned.
I've started working on this theory of the 3 C's, and I think Steve Johnson might be in the chat. I don't know, but we have all these different words and letters in branding and marketing. But I've like there's 3 C's, right? There's your company, there's your customer, and there's your competition. And logically, if we can get your company as close to your consumer as possible and fill its need and keep it as far away from its competitor as possible, we're going to win.
I like that.
And it's this scale of the 3 C's, right? And
I like that. Someone should animate that.
I think so. I probably just sold my product to the world now, haven't
And
I?
the little consumer like moves closer, and then more performance.
And then everyone panics, like
Yeah,
shit, and then we have to go back towards it. You know what I mean?
that's pretty cool.
So
Nice.
I'm working on that. You know, I think that's kind of my new way in of trying to explain it simply. And I've been testing it. I was networking this morning, tested it, and I was like, oh, that's really smart. And how do you do that? Oh, that's through this thing called branding. Oh, what logos? No, mate.
And then you can start talking mental availability and collaboration sets and like all the. That's really clever. I'm not going to steal it, but I'll reference you if I.
No, mate, you see it. You can say I learned this on the water cooler. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's pretty cool.
Mark's asking about skins here on Fortnite. I'm sure we're going to be gamer tags are going to be coming up soon, isn't it? Should we start a water cooler?
We should start a Discord community, guys. Let's do it. Like,
mate, let's let that manifest. I think that might work.
Play games and talk about brands.
Yeah,
Wait, I love that. Stefan, any books that you remember fondly?
Yeah, I'm riding this wave on Louis Grenier at the moment. Stand the fuck out is just absolutely brilliant. I met him yesterday in person. I don't know if you guys know him. Oh, you got him?
No, I've said you met him. Like he'd be somewhere.
Yeah, I met him in person yesterday. He was one of the speakers at the event. He actually flew in.
He might or might not be on the schedule of the water cooler. We don't know.
He's a fun time. I would actually tune in just for that. Just to find out he's coming out. Yeah.
We don't know where it's gonna come though, guys. We cannot say.
Mm,
That
mm.
is that I love that, and I mean, what an awesome title, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just,
I mean, just it's like a living example of how to build a brand to me as well. He just like owns the absolute crap out of it. But
yeah,
yeah, I think his book is great, just because it just reads like talking to him as well. Like when you actually meet him and you speak to him, it's like that's just him in a book. So after meeting him yesterday, I told him like I'll just promote your book now everywhere I go for
Amazing.
I
until
was also
something
looking
else
for it, Wes.
Oh, yeah, I think it's mine's. I
I
think it's
thought
on
I
that
had
shelf
it.
over there. I think.
Yeah, me too. I thought I had it. I don't
I'll
know.
quickly share a link in the.
Do it. Put it
Yeah,
in,
yeah, it's
man. Anything that you want to tell us? Anything you want to expose? Anything?
yeah. Where can people find you actually if they want to stalk you more?
Get
LinkedIn mostly.
Steph might
That's where I'm
spam.
active. Can I send in the chat? How do I send?
You
Yeah,
I
should be
can't.
able.
I can't talk in the chat.
I'll put it in the private chat. I'll
And
copy
There
it.
you go.
Here we go. I've got it.
Yeah, it's a good read. I think it's also pretty cheap actually for a good book. Yeah, just LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. If you type my name in, you'll definitely find me.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I'm rather active. Sometimes I go through these phases where I just don't post anything at all because the world annoys me.
yeah,
But
yeah, same.
yeah, I'm
We have
active.
a
And if you have
question.
any questions, ask me there. Like
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Follow up in the chat. Sometimes people will come in the comments after.
Yeah, there is a question from Quirino. It says for Stefan, do you do brand consulting work for companies? I mean, as a consultant, not as an in-house
In-house.
strategist.
Yeah, so I've got a full time job that I always run just because I like my stability and I really like the bigger thing as well. But I always have like 2 to 3 projects on the side, which is either like personal branding consultation or like building brands or launching brands or go to market strategy. But it always starts at like the brand side. I like doing e-commerce brands because that's why I can scratch my creative itch. Like I usually work my full-time job is in B2B, which is oftentimes not that creative. So I like launching e-commerce brands and building them because there's just so much fun stuff to do. So yes, I do.
Yeah,
We
I'm
booked a
linking
book.
your website as well, so
Yeah.
people can go and check it out. And then it's not a question, but I think it was an interesting comment from Michael. Said I've been on both the brand agency side and the brand side, having built a global brand from scratch and experiencing the success was truly amazing. And prices, the contrast was a huge learning experience. And Wes, how many times we hear this, isn't it? Like when once the brand is done properly from the strategy ground up and people start to see it coming to life, it's just a huge difference.
Definitely
Light
mindset.
bulbs. That's the
Yeah.
magical moment.
You
That's
love it.
Mm,
They're the goosebumps, like you said, Steph.
um,
They're the bits like,
mm.
this is why.
yeah, and then just watching those founders live it. Oh, it's like it,
Mhm.
it just gives me so much purpose and gives me so much
Yeah.
like
100%.
yeah, I love it. So
All
yeah,
right,
guys,
man.
any
Well,
recommendations?
I'm conscious of your time. I know you're on daddy duty, so you do your thing, man. But
I need
what,
to, yeah, I need to run. I need to go fetch my kiddo. But guys, thank you so much. I think this was
mate, you've
one of
been
the
a
quick
G.
We thank you.
conversations I've been on. It's really casual and like
I appreciate that, bro.
yeah, I think we all know what we like and what we talk about and what we want to teach the world, right? So
I
Definitely.
was sure. I was sure this would have been great. Stefan, thank you very much. Have a great Friday and a lovely
Have a
weekend.
great weekend, bro.
cool. Cheers.
See
So
you
nice to
later.
meet you guys
Bye,
as
mate.
well. Bye.
Peace.
Ciao.
Mate, look at me. You
Yeah,
made me
yeah.
cry. I'm teaming
Good.
up.
What were you crying about?
I'm
What?
emotional. People that don't know me in the chat should know this now, but come on. I'm an
Yeah,
emotional guy. He made me feel good and I cried a little bit inside. And now it's outside.
I'm gonna ask Stefan to write a song for you.
He's already writing one. He'll be in the shower in a bit. Like, wait.
Where's my friend in the shower? But you cannot get the guitar in the shower. I think in the shower he must be doing the
There's an
lyrics.
idea there, Martin, that you just planted for somebody.
Yeah, no,
A
I know.
shower guitar. I mean, come on.
This was awesome, Michael, Mark, everyone,
Yeah,
guys. Thank you
and
so
I,
much.
I want to say this, like the
Ian,
amount of people in my workshop that are actually on this call today. Oh, I'm so like humbled.
Ashley's there,
Like,
Ralph,
she was in my
Vijay,
call. Ralph was in my chat.
Jonathan,
Michael
Steph
was in
Hammerlink
there.
also came back from
Yeah,
from the
Steph
last
came in. I
episode.
saw him. I wanted to say
Yeah,
hi. Like he did the
yeah.
summit. He smashed it.
It was good. So what a good episode. Yeah, it's true. Like me and Stefan clashed a few times on
Yeah, it's
LinkedIn
great.
for difference of opinions, but like I love the conversation, and like we were just exchanging comments for a really long time, and then we went into chatting on LinkedIn on messages. The guy's a ace. Like I love him. Wes went away. Where are you,
I'm
Wes?
here. I don't know what's happened to my though, bro. I don't know if it's like heat
Well, there we
overheat.
go. Anyway, I mean this is our sign, isn't it?
That's it. Oh,
This,
back.
ah, he's
Look
back.
that magic.
Bye, buddy. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely weekend. Love you. Thanks
Guys,
everyone for
love you.
coming.
See you in 2 weeks. Let's get jamming. Have a great week.
Who do we have? Who do we have in 2 weeks?
I'm not telling you, mate.